You and welcome to Hoopers Connection podcast. It's your boy Rel. I'm joined with Hakeem. What's good, Keem?
What's happening, Raul?
We got the Hoopers Connection podcast, so make sure you subscribe to the hoopersconnection.com. It's a free online basketball platform so people can share their basketball stories, highlights, anything about like the league, anything about overseas play. We're going to talk about everything on hoopersconnection.com, so make sure you subscribe. So we got the podcast, this is the first one here. So we're going to talk about the NBA breakdown. So NBA season has started, and we're going to give you a breakdown of the entire conference. We're going to go over every team, and then we're going to get into it. So, Keem, let me know how you feeling about the season. What do you think?
Oh man.
What are
I'm
you ready
excited, man. I'm
for?
excited.
What
I can't tell you
teams?
how excited I am.
So, what teams are you looking forward to seeing? Like,
So first and foremost, before we get started, we gotta let everyone know first and foremost, absolute Knick fan. All the way diehard New York Knicks fan. So of course Knicks are on top of my list. But absolutely, if I'm just looking at NBA overall and just being an overall basketball fan, the top teams I'm definitely looking at is the Warriors, looking at to see them repeating. Definitely repeating as champions. Can they do it again? Again, they're starting to throw in as defending champions tomorrow night. Tuesday night is opening night. So it's a big thing coming up to see how well the chemistry evolves with the whole offseason drama with Draymond, Jordan Poole getting an extension, Andrew Wiggins getting an extension, of course, and Draymond's, contract is coming up soon. And then another team that I'm looking forward to is, believe it or not, is definitely the Milwaukee Bucks. Just because I still believe Giannis is one of the best in the league. Top three, maybe top two, arguably, but he's still unstoppable. He basically almost brought them to the Eastern Conference Finals last year by himself. So definitely looking forward what they do in the Eastern Conference. How about you?
yeah, obviously Golden State. I mean, the crazy. I mean, we want to get into it a little bit more, but I mean, Golden State. I feel like they got better, so it's like they're defending champs. They got better, but I feel like a lot of teams got better. I feel like Celtics got better. I mean, the Bucks. Obviously, they had the Middleton injury hurt a lot, but I don't know if they got better. But I think that they're still the team that teams have to go through in the East. But all right, so let's get into it. Let's actually get into it. So part one, we're going to talk about the Eastern Conference. So first, we're just going to go through each team, talk about what we think about each team, and then we're going to give like our playoff predictions. So first, we're going to get started with the Atlantic Division. First team, we'll start it off with the Celtics. So the Celtics this year, they got. I mean, I feel like they got better. They got Brogdon. They added Brogdon, which I think is going to be huge for them
Yep,
at the point.
absolutely, absolutely.
And they added like I think Gallinari, but he's hurt now.
Yeah, they added
They added,
Gallinari, and they had a second round pick. They added J.D. Davidson as well, 53rd overall pick, J.D. Davidson. But other than that, they
bro,
lost a lot of players, but had some free agent additions, Matt Ryan and Broderick Thomas. But of course, the big acquisition that you mentioned was Malcolm Brogdon, of
yeah.
course.
I mean, and they added Blake too. I think they added Blake.
Oh yeah, Blake. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Blake. Yeah, actually, Blake was a
Yeah,
actually. Yes, how y'all miss him? He's right in front of me. He
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
Blake is a
They
big
added
addition.
Blake. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what he does. I'm not sure, but I mean, they got a solid team. I mean, their center's hurt for a little bit, so he's gonna miss part of the season.
Yep.
Um, Robert Williams. So yeah, I mean they're gonna be good. I mean I have them as one of the better teams. I mean in the East, I think obviously Tatum is gonna have something to prove. I think Tatum's gonna do his thing this year. JB, I think he's gonna kill
Yeah,
Jalen
I
Brown.
think I think you're right on point. I think you're right on point. Malcolm Brogdon was the key addition they needed. They needed that point guard, that solid person that can they could get a bucket if the twos and threes are not working. And Jalen and Jason Tatum, but also I think they're going to struggle coming out the gates. As you mentioned, Robert Williams not being there is going to be huge, and of course, new coach at the helm. No Udoka at the helm, so of course that new coach is going to be a factor. It may have a rough start, but I do see them agree top three in the East, hands down. One of the best
Yeah,
teams in the East, and Blake Griffin is going to be key. Key, just keep him healthy. You just need him for about 40 to 50 games in the regular season. Keep him healthy for the playoffs, and that's all you need him. You just need that depth off the bench, and that's what you need him for.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big thing for them is I think Brogdon is going to help just because obviously Marcus Smart is great defensively, but Brogdon gives a little something offensively that he doesn't have, that Marcus Smart doesn't have. So I think he'll help. Biggest thing is just being healthy. If he's healthy, they're going to be good. I think they'll start a little bit slow, but I think they'll still be good to start it off. I mean, last year they started off really slow, and then they wind up by January, February, they just started cranking it up. But I think they'll be. I think they're gonna be solid. They're gonna be up there. I mean, the East is just the East is probably the deepest it's been possibly ever. If you think about
Actually,
last year there was what 10 teams over 500. I don't even know the last time
yeah,
that's
the playing tournament was great. Yeah, actually, you're right.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
even down to the eighth, ninth seed, almost over 500.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, yeah. The 10th seed, I think the 10th seed was like 3 or 4 games over 500. There's been times in the East, like probably I think like 20, 30 years ago, where I think they had 10 teams that were 500 and above, but I don't know the last time they had 10 teams over 500 in a long time. So
I
this is
agree.
probably the deepest, and I feel like the teams we're going to get into it, but I feel like the teams that at the bottom got better. So it's going
Yeah.
to be crazy. So, all right, so that's the Celtics. So next one in the Atlantic Division.
Before we move on though, we
Mhm.
got them at the over under for Caesars got them at the over under 53 and a half wins for the year. What you got them over under?
53.
53 and a half. That's a lot. You're talking about 54 wins. What you got?
Yeah,
What you taking?
yeah. I would say, ooh, I would say give them the over. I see them like 55. That's tough, but I see them. Yeah, I would say give them the over. Oh no, maybe not though, because
I'm
I can
I'm
see them
I'm
going
taking I'm
50,
I'm taking
50.
under. I see a 49, 50, 51 win season. I see it around 51, 31, 15, 32 around there.
All
I
right,
see
so
them
you go.
number.
I'm gonna go with the over because I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna struggle as much because they coming out kind of hot, and I think Tatum's gonna try to go for MVP. Like he's really gonna go off this year. So I'll go with the over on that one.
Yeah, I agree. Brogdon, he has that support in Brogdon too. That's gonna be huge. All right.
Yeah. All right. So next one's here. We're gonna talk about Atlantic Division. It's the Brooklyn Nets. So this is a huge question mark. They could be really good or they could just be trash. I don't know. I don't know. Like I really don't know, but they got Ben Simmons. They got Ben Simmons. He's looking like he's ready to play. I think Katie and Kyrie are actually mentally ready to go after it because they know that it's like a lot is on the line. A lot is on the line right now. So it's like it's not like they don't love basketball. Like those two love basketball more than you know what I'm saying. This like
Yeah,
people got a question that they like their love of basketball. Like, oh, does Kyrie want to play? It's like I think Kyrie wants to play. It's like
absolutely wants to play.
yeah.
I
So
think. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was saying I think that it's gonna be like a huge like make or break kind of year for them. So I think they're gonna have something to prove. They kind of switched up the team a little bit because they got Ben Simmons, they got Seth Curry. They're gonna have Seth Curry. I think he's injured now, but Seth Curry's gonna probably come off the
Joe
bench.
Harris coming back.
Joe Harris is coming back.
Mhm.
I think they have a squad there with T.J. Warren.
Yep.
T.J. Warren probably gonna come off the bench. They added Royce
Royce O'Neal, which is
Royce
great, great
O'Neal.
three. That's exactly what they need. A defensive presence definitely coming off the bench and just giving
Yeah,
that presence, that lockdown. Because he's going to defend the best offensive player every night, and
yeah.
that's what you need. Give that breather to KD, give that breather to Ben Simmons, and like you mentioned, just to piggyback off what you said, just Ben Simmons, if he brings it, he shows up this season. That's one of the most dangerous teams in the league. Just for the simple fact
Yeah,
that he could be so versatile. You don't even need him to score. He could just average
yeah.
7 assists, 8 rebounds a game, 2, 3 steals a game, 1 block a game. That could be his stat line tonight, and you're good with that. I'm good with that. Honestly, that's third All NBA third team, and almost when you get to close to double figures, averaging in rebounds and assists on a nightly basis. So
Yeah.
but yep,
I think the thing with Ben Simmons is he could essentially play 1 through 4. So you could have him start at the power forward, but he could still be the point guard essentially. And
Yep.
people are like, people obviously. I mean, the way that the last time we watched him play, he didn't look good. He didn't look good, and I
He did not
understand
look
it.
good at all. He didn't
But,
look good at all. No front.
people are like kind of wilding, like, oh, is he like kind of talking like they talk about him like he wasn't an all-star, multi-time all-star.
Right,
Very
right.
early in his career, like
Right.
it's like he helped bring the Sixers to where they were. If you looked
I
at
agree.
when he was with the Sixers, their winning record went up when Ben Simmons was there more than it did when Embiid was there. If you really look into it,
Hands
it's
down.
like they didn't start winning until Ben Simmons got there. So it's
That's
like,
true.
it's
The
like
process.
people.
He was part of the process.
Yeah, exactly. He was a huge part.
He was part of the process.
He was a
Yeah.
huge part, and even now because he's the reason why they're gonna get why they have James Harden. So it's like he's still he played a huge part of the process, and it's like he's not as bad as people were thinking. It's like
So let me ask you a question. Where do you see Maxi's growth this year with the Sixers? Where do you see his role? Do you see him as the number 2 scorer, number 2 option? Do you see him taking that leap?
Maxi, no, I don't see him being number 2, but I mean, I can see him. I think he's going to do it. He's going to have a good year. Like, I think he's going to have a really good year.
So with you saying that, where do you see Harden? Because I don't see Harden having a number 2 option type of year. I see him taking a more of a.
I think Harden's going to go crazy this year. I think he's going
really.
I think he's going to have a really good scoring year. I think him and Embiid is going to be over 25 points a game.
Wow. I know Embiid definitely. I'm not even down Embiid. I'm not down Embiid.
All right, but let's save that for Philly. Though. Let's save that for Philly.
All right, over under for Philly is 50.5. What you got?
Wait, we still on the Nets. So let's save that.
My bad. You're right.
Yeah. So for the Nets, I mean, I feel like Ben Simmons. He's a person that's going to be able to add to the team because he can do everything. He can pass. He can create. And unlike the Philly team, he has the right people around him to make him even better. I mean, obviously Embiid was there and he did well with Embiid, but he has some of the best not only scorers, but he has the best shooters, and he has Steph Curry, Joe Harris,
players,
KD,
one of the best skill players. He has two of the 5 best skill players in the league, in KD and Kyrie.
Well, and then he has probably 3 of the top 7 3-point shooters: Joe Harris, Steph Curry. So it's like, I mean, the only thing for them, I think, is I think that they're not going to do as well defensively. So. Right. I think that's where they're going to struggle because especially when they play bigs. Because I mean, Claxton is cool, but I don't know if
they're thinking about playing Simmons at the 5 with the lack of depth at the center position. They got Simmons playing the 5 in some lineups.
Yeah, but I think that kind of affects the defense.
That kind of works.
Pretty small. I mean, he did well against like Giannis and all that, but Giannis plays a 4, so it's like it'll be tough. Like they play like the Sixers, they need a big someone they could throw at and beat, and it's not going to be Ben Simmons.
I agree.
You can't. So, and I honestly think that the Nets probably not going to end the season with Steve Nash as coach, just because
that's a big prediction.
The vibe that he has is just not. It's not. His defense for one isn't good.
So defensively, he's not a good coach. I agree with you. I think in the aspect of controlling egos, he just hasn't been there. I think you need experience to get to that level to control egos and aspect of working with players. He just jumped in, no assistant role coach, no development role coach, just jumped in head coach. It's like you gotta learn how to deal with the players, man. And I think that really hurt him. But I disagree. I don't think they'll fire him mid-season. I think they will let him go all season just because the culture that Sean Marks has in Brooklyn. I don't think they will terminate him mid-season. I think they'll let him drop unless they have a start where they start out like 15 games under 500 by All-Star. Now we're talking.
I think they will get rid of him. They'll get rid of him if they start off terrible. Which they could, though. I mean, just obviously, I don't really go off preseason much, but the preseason they just didn't look all that good. It's just the defense didn't look good, and if they not even have to be 15 games back, if they start the season and they like 5 games back or something, like early in the season, I can see them like, all right, it's not gonna work. Just because you could tell And it's like Steve Nash.
But
I don't think
and that's
he's
the
ready
thing.
to win.
I think the star players before we move on. I think the star players on this team know the future. Like KD, know Kyrie's not gonna be there next year. Kyrie, know he's not gonna be there next year. Like no matter what, Kyrie's more playing for his contract next year, whatever team he's playing for. But he know he's not gonna be there next year.
I
That
think
really
Kyrie
puts
might be back next year though. I
if they
don't
win
think
a
that.
chip.
I think not even a chip though. I think they go on a deep run because I honestly don't know if I mean obviously Kyrie's great, but how many teams is really Kyrie going to? You know what I'm saying? Like in real life,
I agree. But
it's not really a lot of
knowing
options.
Kyrie's ego, Kyrie will leave and just leave to leave. He's done it before.
No, I mean, I honestly think that. I mean, I honestly don't think that Kyrie's gonna. I mean, I don't think obviously, I think he could leave. I mean, Kyrie can do whatever he wants, but I don't think is. I think that he's actually gonna. He might stay because one, he's the reason why KD got there. He brought this whole thing together. He did everything. He chose the Nets over the Knicks, and you know what I'm saying. And he did this whole thing. So he already has interest in this team. So it's not like it's like Boston where he got traded to or something like that, or Cavs where he got drafted to. He's just the first team that he actually chose.
Yeah.
So I think that he's not going to relieve unless they like get smacked like first round and it's just ugly.
And like you said, that's a possibility.
That could be, or they could. I mean, I think if they go to like the Eastern Conference Finals or something, I don't think because just thinking about it, obviously Kyrie is absolutely amazing, but how many teams can he really go to? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, obviously people say like the Lakers and all that, but I don't see him really going with the Bron shit after the whole, whatever, him and Bron situation. So it's like, how many teams can he really go to?
Not that much. I mean, on top of my head, I mean,
Miami they don't have Kyrie.
Miami have the books
better than playing with KD though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right?
Because I mean, especially the point guard position. That
the Bucks.
He could absolutely go to the Bucks. Now, if he goes to the Bucks,
absolutely go to Milwaukee.
But I don't see him going to the
Bucks.
Nah.
Giannis wouldn't want that. Giannis not that type of life.
I mean, but it would be absolutely insane. But I don't see him doing that. I don't see him going to the Bucks. I really don't. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie stayed. But I mean, but I do think the Nets are going to be. They could be really, really good if everybody's clicking and it's like
KD will be KD healthy MVP candidate all year. All right, so what we got over under for the Brooklyn Nets? We got is 50.5 wins. You got over under
50.5. I would say. I see because I had them. I was thinking around like 50 wins for them, but I would go with the under.
So you got them on the under, and you got Boston on the over.
Yeah, I think Boston's gonna have a better. I mean, Boston had the best season last year.
Best season, yeah. Okay, all right. Agree. All right, cool. So we got next, guys. In the 19th division, we're gonna jump over to Philly.
Yeah. So
we saving who for last.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Philly. So
all right, cool.
As we talked about, Philly added PJ Tucker. They added Montrezl Harrell. I think both players going to add a lot of toughness that they needed, like the ability to guard multiple positions and all that. I think especially PJ Tucker, he's going to take a lot off of James Harden, which is
Montrezl Harrell will give them some depth in the backup 5 position off the bench for Embiid when he does come off the floor.
Or he can play power forward too.
Like he can play power forward too. Yep,
that's really his position, but. Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to do really well. As you said, like Maxey, I think Maxey's going to have a really good year. He's going to be a point guard, though. I think James Harden is going to go back to James Harden forcing it, like going crazy. I think it's his time because he what he did last year. He says he was injured. I think he was injured. He was definitely out of shape. And
hands down, yep. I mean, but what season does he not come in the season out of shape? I mean,
but he said that he lost the weight this year. He's like he said he's focused, he's ready. He said he was injured last year, so I give him that, and he was changing teams and all that, which is another story. But I give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think he's going to actually come in and he's going to have something to prove this year. So I think that he's actually going to go crazy. Him and Embiid, I think they're going to go crazy this year.
All right, I think Philly's honestly for Philly. I think they have a similar year to last year. I think they finished middle of the pack, middle of the East, around like 4 or 5 seed. I think they maybe a 3 seed. I think that's their peak if they even get there. But I think peak. I think they're around 4 to 5, 6 seed. I think they're a very, very good team in the aspect of when they actually play hard. And when they play their roles, Harden plays his role in that aspect. I'm not trying to be a scorer, be a facilitator. Let Embiid do what he do. Harris is a versatile player. He's defending multiple positions. He's getting rebounds and he's scoring open shots. They could be a very dangerous team, and that's where the peak position I get them at the 3. But ideally, we know with Philly something always happens in the aspect of locker room, chemistry, on the floor, management. So it's like I don't know. So my confidence in Philly right now on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a 6. And I just don't believe in Philly that much. Everybody's up high on them. I love the addition of PJ Tucker. I love the addition of Montrezl Harrell. But like you said, in the playoffs, you need that. And that's what they always miss, that person that can say, hey, no matter what, we got locked down and we got to get after this. And that's what you get PJ Tucker for. He can defend multiple positions. Like you said, he's one of those players that's going to defend the best play every night to make sure that you take that pressure off your star player. But it's Philly.
Yeah,
Philly.
yeah.
You don't know how much the players believe in Doc. Is Philly, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I think they could be really good, but it's so many good teams at the top. It's like I don't know if everybody's playing at their best. I don't know if they beating the top.
That's what I agree with you. Yeah,
That's
if
the
everybody
thing.
at their best, they're not even. I don't think they're hovering or like 4. They're hovering. Maybe
Yes,
everybody's at their
I
best.
think it could be. There's certain teams I think they could be, but it's yeah. I don't know. I would have to see it. I would have to see it for to believe it type thing. So I'm not really too sure about Philly. So what's the over and under for Philly?
So we got Philly sitting at 50.5. Wow. I'm saying
Yeah,
under right now after that. I'll take the under on
yeah.
that
I
one.
would say
I might run to the books on that one.
it's weird because I think that they will have more wins than the Nets in the season, but then I
Really?
think the
Okay.
Nets will go farther in the playoffs. But I honestly, I would say maybe the over 50. I would say between 52 to 55. I think.
Okay. Wow. So you really
Yeah, I mean they
you
had
don't
a. I
know
mean
what you believe in them. You think
last year they had a. I mean last year they were pretty good during
and
the regular
so
season.
one thing I am going to say, honestly, last year Embiid was pretty healthy last year.
Yeah,
He was pretty healthy.
and that was with Harden playing less than half the season, and
That's
he was
true.
out of shape, and he was like the worst Harden we've seen probably ever. So it's like I think during the season they're gonna have the wins, but I don't really know I don't know how they're gonna work in the playoffs. All right. So next team here is gonna be the Toronto Raptors. So the Raptors, I mean the Raptors,
Six.
they started winning the end of last year. They worked their way up in the playoffs. They was in the play-in game, and then they just kept winning, and then they I mean they had a pretty good run. They almost beat Philly, right? They almost beat
Yep.
Philly. Well, they almost they were down 3-1 or something. And they came back, I think. And I mean they're a solid team. They hustle. They do the dirty work. I
Yep.
mean, I don't think they're not a playoff threat, but they'll be in. I think they will be in the playoffs. Though I think they're a playoff caliber team. I don't know if they added anyone like that would help them more. I think
Yeah,
they're gonna
nothing.
be.
Yeah, nobody crazy. Maybe a Josh Jackson. Get you some points off the bench.
Yeah,
That get you those 11, 12 points off the bench when you need them. You get
I
hot
think they're gonna be a team that's gonna be looking to make a move at some point in
at
the
the
season
trade deadline. Yeah,
for
I
like
think they need.
Siakam or OG, one of those guys. I think are going to be not going to be there by the end of the
Well,
season.
I think OGs. I think they're looking at OG to be one of their star players, really development players to be one of their like guys this year. So I think Siakam, if they're like in the playoff, not even the playoff, so All Star break, they're like above 500, hovering around there. I think they ride it out. But I think if they're not really competing, they look to move to Siakam and keep OG, work with him and move Siakam But I think
Yeah.
Dealey, they're a decent team. I agree with you. They're solid. I love what they do organizationally wise, how they develop young talent, develop them from the D League, bring them in similar to what the Warriors do. But the Raptors are definitely going to be in the playoff race, but not above a 5 seed, not above a 6 seed. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Not even above. Yeah, maybe 7, 7 maybe.
I think even if everybody plays great, still there's not. It's just too. It's too deep of a Eastern
Yeah, you're
Conference.
right, man. The East is deep, man. The East is
Yeah, and
deep.
they don't have the star power. I don't think they have the star power that you need to like really get you going. I mean, I like Forever and Bleed. I like their team a lot. I just don't think that they got it to.
Yeah, Van Vliet never is really that healthy too, and their team never really is that healthy.
Yeah.
And they got the over under is 45.5.
I would say under.
Yeah, I want to say under on that one too as well.
That will have them at like around the 8th seed, where I would think they would be.
Yeah,
Under
that's
would probably.
if we have a replica of the East last year, then yeah, that's around the 8th seed. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I would say the under.
Okay, I'm agree with you under there too as well. I got them hovering around the playing tournament. All right.
Yeah. I think they're going to be in the hunt of the play.
Yep.
So next team here, we're gonna go with our team, the New York Knickerbockers, and I mean it's a lot. There's a lot to say for me. I'm gonna keep it short.
Yeah, we gotta keep this short. We gotta spare the fans. We gotta spare
keep it non-biased and emotional as much as I can. And I just don't really know about the Knicks. I want to be confident in these guys, but I just don't know. It's like they added Jalen Brunson, who I think is a great addition. I think that is an upgrade at point guard, especially with Alec. We had Alec Burke playing starting point guard, who's not even the starting point guard. Point guard. You've been playing the 2 for like most of his life.
All right.
But that's another story. He's not on the team no more. And then we got RJ. I think RJ's gonna have a really good year. I think this is his year to really. I mean, last year he kind of had a break.
I think last year was more of the year he did it. Yeah, that's why he got that contract extension. Yep.
Yeah, but I think he's kind of underrated in the league a little bit. I think people in the league don't really respect RJ for what he.
I think it's more compared to his draft class he came out and I think out of all the players in his class and out of rookies, he actually developed as a pro. You know, even though he had more of a pro body coming into the league, his skill wasn't pro ready yet, and you saw him develop as a pro, and that's why I respect RJ, and I think RJ agreed he's going to have a great year. But
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Continue.
Yeah,
I think RJ will be good. I think he'll be I think he'll be around like the 22 to 24 points a game. And then you have, I mean, Julius Randle here or there. I'm a fan of Julius Randle overall. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of him on the Knicks, but I'm a fan of Julius Randle since high school. I've been a fan, watched him. But the thing with Julius Randle though, I don't know. Well, one the biggest thing with me and Julius Randle is I don't like the role that the Knicks have him in, which is our best player. And I don't agree with that for us to be good. And it's like, I mean, I'm in like, different Knicks groups and all that. I have a lot of friends that are Knicks fans, so I speak to Knicks fans all the time. And it's like a lot of people like, they like Julius Randle, but I think overall they don't like the people that don't like him for the most part. They don't like him because of the role that he's in, and that's our best player. And it's like adding Brunson. Yes, Brunson is good. He's an upgrade, but it still doesn't take away the fact that now Julius Randle is still our best player. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still a guy. So we didn't fix the actual biggest problem of our team overall, which is just adding that talent, But I think that the Knicks could. I mean, I think they could be a tough team. Like if they band together, I think they can be a tough team. But I don't know where tough leaves you in the East, because that could leave you at an 11 or 12 seed. You could still be tough. You could be a tough team and still be at the 11 seed. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to say. I want to see them in the playoffs. I think they could probably squeeze in the 8 seed, possibly. But I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, the New York Knicks. I love this team, man. You know I always talk to you about the Knicks, man. We talk about the Knicks all the time.
Yes.
Julius Randle. It's not the fact that you say that, we and one of the factors is, of course, is the role that we have him in as our best player. Absolutely can't stand it because he's not our best player.
Yeah.
When we gave him an extension, he was coming off a hype, but that was one of our biggest mistakes because I think my biggest concern with Julius Randle is his leadership and how well he manages that. I think Julius Randle, the year before he got the extension, his leadership and his understanding of his role and his skill was different from Julius Randle end of that season, and he got his attention. Now he's more of a perimeter-oriented player. But before that, he was down low, working players down low, doing what we know Julius Randle to do. Yeah. But then once he got that extension, he started getting to his head, started getting the ego, and understanding that last year, the whole fiasco what he had with the fans and the aspect of getting upset that we were booing him and we getting on it. First of all, don't act like you don't know where you playing, bro. Don't act like you don't know where you playing, man. Second of all, we have a right to judge you for the performance that you are putting on the court for us. All right, we absolutely have a right to, my man.
Yeah,
you've been bumming, and then you get upset when you out here shooting 7 to 8 3-pointers a game. You should not be shooting 7 to 8 3-pointers per game. Like, not making them. You're attempting 7 to 8 3-pointers. But let's get back to make sure we all keep on topic. The New York Knicks overall, I think the big miss was missing on Donovan Mitchell. I mean, that was the biggest offseason hype. Biggest elephant in the room was thinking that we get Donovan Mitchell. We didn't get him. What made us great the year we made the playoffs 2 years ago was the defense. How consistent we were defensively. How bought in we were defensively.
Yes.
I'm still a believer old school defense wins games. If you are able to defend, you can stay in games and win games. And that's what we were doing. If you could get that mentality of, hey, we need to defend and work hard defensively every play because we are lacking skill-wise and talent-wise, so we have to make up for it on the effort end. We could be a decent team and make the playoffs around 7, 8 seed, maybe a 6 if we consistent.
Yeah.
But other than that, they got us at 38.5. 38.5 is like, do we finish over 38.5? 38.5? We can't get 40 wins?
I think we can get 40.
I think we can get 40 wins, man. I think we can get 40 wins this year.
I think the biggest issue for the Knicks, outside of having Randle as that main guy, I think the biggest issue is part of the reason why I don't like Randle as the main guy is because, as you said, leadership. We don't really have that. I mean, we kind of have with Derrick Rose kind of brought that, but Derrick Rose hasn't played all year, so it's like he can't play all season.
Derrick Rose the whole season. That's the leadership we kind of need, but he's never in the locker room.
And then also, I mean, but this team needs on-court leadership. It's like it's the biggest issues, especially last year. Is like there were games where they're up and then they just unravel, and it's like they have no leadership on court. And then they also don't have a guy that you could give the ball to and be like, all right, when you're down or the other team's coming back, you give them the ball and they're just like, oh, I'm going to take over.
Settle them down. Yeah, give me a bucket. I got you. Yep.
And it's like Randle kind of was that the year that they went to the playoffs, but at the same time, the team dynamic was different. Like he was that, but it was too much for him at the end of the day because by the playoff time he was just exhausted. And also
everybody know what you're gonna do. We know you're going left. Everybody know you.
It's like I think that's the biggest issue is that we don't have a closer, someone that's like because last year I think I don't know if we were number one, we were one of the top teams as far as giving up double-digit leads, like in the second half. Like we were a terrible third quarter team.
Watching them, I know.
Yeah, so it's like it like our second half scoring was significantly down from the first half. It's like, and I think part of that was leadership. I think it was not having a go-to guy, and I also think it was coaching too. Because Tibbs, as great as he is as a defensive mind, which is why, as you said, we went to the playoffs 2 years ago. offensively, he has not shown that
He's
he's
never
capable
proven it. He's never
of
proven
making
it.
adjustments to win games. It's like
Yep.
for the Knicks to be that bad in the second half and lose all those leads means that they were capable of getting these points in the beginning, but the other teams made adjustments and they couldn't, or
They
they
couldn't.
just
Yep.
didn't.
We couldn't
And,
adjust. Yeah.
yeah,
Well
and I
said.
think that, and I mean,
Yep.
and that really got exposed when we lost in the playoffs that year to Atlanta when we were up one.
When Nate McMillan was just
Gentleman sweep.
oh my god,
Yeah,
we couldn't even
it's
stop the
like
pick and roll. We couldn't stop the pick
they
and roll.
yeah but they were able to make the adjustments against us,
Yep.
and I think that's ever since then we didn't look this. Our team did not look the same ever since that Atlanta series because it's like every team was just like, all right, we're just gonna make the adjustments, and they're not, and then that's
Yep.
it. We're
That's
gonna
it.
win the game.
We know
Like,
that. And Tibbs has ego. He would not hire a good offensive mind, a great offensive mind as
yeah,
assistant coach. He would not do it just
yeah,
because he doesn't want to have that person on his back that's possibly could take the team over. Like, nah, bro. You
yeah.
need to
Like
understand your flaws and have somebody to cover that up.
it was good. Like I mean, even then, the Knicks, the year that the Knicks was good, they had what's the dude that was the coach before? That's on Indiana now. Hoosiers.
Um,
Not John Brown. No,
Mike Woodson.
Mike Woodson.
Yep.
So I mean, even that year that we made the playoffs, Mike Woodson was a part
I
of it.
loved Mike Woodson. I loved Mike Woodson.
But
I
at the
loved how
same
I
time,
hate
it's
how we
like,
got rid of him. Phil came in and was like, we got to get rid of Mike.
yeah, that's
Man, I
another
ain't
that's
like
another
Phil,
thing.
man.
But yeah, but yeah, I mean, so I have them. I will have them over 38 and a half. What is it? 38 and a half.
Yep.
I'll have them over 38 and a half off of good faith. But yeah, I think. But I think if like if honestly, the last thing I'll say, if Tibbs got bringing somebody like like I don't even like D'Antoni like that, but somebody like D'Antoni for offense, I
Yep.
think it will help the team because he doesn't play to the strengths of our players. Like the last year, like we were the slowest team in the league. We was the last team in assists.
So,
Like
yep. I
what
tell
are we?
everybody we
Like,
didn't use Fournier how we supposed to use Fournier. You see Fournier in the Euros. Fournier
yeah,
is taking off the dribble,
yeah,
bang, like
well, yeah.
like
Not even in the
why
Euros.
are we using Fournier like a catch and shoot player? That's not him.
Exactly. I said the same thing. It's like
Right.
even not even Euros on Orlando. He was getting to the rack.
Yep.
He was breaking people down. We had him just standing. I'm like, yes, he got the record for the most threes, but he had
That's
one of
not
the
his
worst
game.
shooting years of his career.
Yeah.
Statistically, he had
and
one of the worst
even if
shooting
you
years of
look
his
at
career.
that game, many of those shots was off the dribble. He wasn't really catching. Man, it was him dribbling up or taking a shot like a dribble
His
off the dribble.
rhythm is getting off the dribble, getting to his spots. Or like he
Yep.
wasn't able to do that for the Knicks. We turned into a spot up shooter just because we didn't have anyone else that could shoot. So it was like we forced him into this position, and then we
That's not
like,
his game.
oh, and then when you look at his stats, it's like, bro, you shot the worst you shot in like 10 years overall because you just they transformed you to something that you wasn't. Same thing with Alex Burke. Like
But
Alex Burke was
hopefully he
not
has a
point
rebound
guard.
this year. He's got to have a rebound this year because I'm counting on him. I think people count him out. I think Fournier is huge for us. I think he's
Yeah.
crucial. If we utilize him the way we need to utilize him, he's going to be a key player.
Yeah. No, I think
we paid him almost 15, 16 million, 17 million a year. Like, come on.
Yeah, nah, I think he'll be better. I just don't know if Tibbs will allow him to be better. That's the only thing. Because it's like I don't know if him being a spot up shooter is good for the overall team, but it's literally what he has to do if no one else wants to shoot it. It's like,
and that's what upsets me. Well, I think Brunson is going to change a lot of that for us. I think Brunson's going to take like 20% of the scoring load off a lot of players. Like he's going to be one of our main scoring option. Like his hands are going to be our main scoring option. I know that. And then it's going to be Randall and Barrett, but it should be the other way around. It should be Brunson, Barrett, Randall. But
I think Randall's going to be the leading scorer, and then
but I don't think he's going to be the primary option though. I think they're going to go through Brunson, but I think Randall's just going to end up being the scorer because he's going to get buckets. He's going to get the assists. He's going to get the rebounds, offensive rebounds. He's just going to get buckets. But I think they're going to work through Brunson. Just because, I don't know. It could go through Randall again, but I think knowing that it didn't work in the past, I want to do it again.
Well, I mean, I just think that Tibbs is just so. I mean,
Stuck
I
in his
think
ways.
I don't think that it's gonna last long for Tibbs if we don't make the playoffs this year. I think
Right.
this will be his last year, but possibly for Randall too if we don't make the playoffs. So it's a lot. They have a lot on the line, so that's why I got them over 38.5. All right, so let's go to the Central Division. So next one's here. We're gonna go to the Bulls.
Chicago Shot Town.
So the Bulls, they added Andre Drummond, and that's pretty much about it as far as as far as
Yeah, and Goran Dragic. They added Dragic too.
oh, they did. Okay, they added okay,
Mhm.
and I mean, I think Lonzo Ball is hurt, so he's gonna miss the beginning of the
Yeah,
season.
he's gonna miss the first month of the season. Missing.
Yeah, I mean, they were solid. I mean, they had a really good starter last
Yeah,
year.
they had a very good team, but yeah, like
They
you
fell
saw it,
off.
they just didn't play good against good teams. Like
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
find that chemistry to show up against big teams. I think they got exposed defensively when it came against that matter because DeRozan worked so hard on the offensive end, like he never worked defensively that much. I think
yeah.
losing, I think losing Ball was huge just because he was that median between defense and
Playmaker.
distribution. Like
Yeah,
he's a very unselfish player, so he's gonna get everybody what they where they wanted. He was getting Levine was getting buckets, Rose was getting buckets, Vujic was getting buckets, and he was just playing defense and getting assists, like and knocking down open threes. I think he was a glue for that team. Um, I think they do finish middle of the pack, but they got to have a turn this year, man. They got to make that turn where they get over that hump of playing good teams and showing up and getting the wins. Because I think Vujic is a solid player. He's actually one of my favorite big men in the league, just because he could do everything offensively when it comes to it. He could pass, shoot. I don't want to say dribble, but he could pass, shoot, hit the three, post you up, face up. But he sucks defensively, but he could do everything offensively. So like, pretty cool. One of my favorite players to watch, actually.
yeah. I mean, I think they're a solid team. I don't have them like I maybe have them like 6 or something. I mean, I think I now have them sitting like that 5 and 7, but I think that they. I mean, DeRozan has played well last year. He really stepped it up. He was definitely like a
That's
clutch
the
player.
mid-range king right there, baby.
Yeah. But I think that Zach Levine has to be that guy for them to be better, and I don't think he's that guy. I mean, I think he's good. I
Okay.
think he's definitely an all-star level, but I don't think that he's going to be. He has to be like the guy that's going to take over, and I don't know if he's going to could do that consistently, along with DeRozan for them to be that like a top team like that. Like
Does he
so.
want to do it, right? Like,
Yeah, it's
that's another
like
question too. Like, where's his will? Does he want to do it, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't think that he's. I think he definitely played well the last few seasons. I'm not giving him like I'm not saying anything bad about his game, but I just don't think he's one of those guys that you look to as like, he's definitely gonna take over. Like there are some nights that he
yeah,
can, but not consistently when you're like,
he's not
oh, he's gonna
consistent.
take over.
He's not. Yeah, he's not doing it. He's not doing it through the regular season. He'll have like 3, 4 nights through the regular season when he should
Yeah,
be having like 14, 15 nights through the regular season when he's
yeah.
doing that.
And it's definitely not in the playoffs. He hasn't really shown anything in the playoffs really like that. So it's like
I think when you
it,
make that comment, you say he should be. Does he want to? When we say that comment, does he want to be that player? The funny thing is that DeRozan wants to be that player, but it's like they need Levine to be that player
yeah,
just
yeah,
because of his
and
skill
yeah,
set and his ability. And it's just like,
yeah,
dang, it's
yeah.
like,
That's the
yeah,
thing. Yeah, DeRozan, but DeRozan also. I mean, DeRozan's always been that player, but he just not. I don't know. I don't know if he's. I don't know
they're
if
kind
it's.
of similar players. They're kind of similar alphas in a way. They're like
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
they could lead a team, but they can't lead a team. Like
yeah, yeah.
when it
I
comes
mean,
to
I would say
adversity, are they going to
DeRozan
be
is
those players?
better. I would say DeRozan career wise is better at leading the team because he was taking Raptors to the
The
playoffs
Raptors, yeah, to Eastern Conference
almost
Finals,
every
yeah,
year.
we saw
And
it.
Levine's not really a winner, like hasn't shown to be a winner like that. But at the same time, I think that Levine he's getting better, but yeah, I don't think he has that like, oh, I'm gonna just be that guy.
Yeah, just give me the ball. Let me every night. I'm going out
Yeah,
there.
let
I'm
me just
dropping.
go crazy.
He could drop 30 every night if he wanted to. We've
Yeah.
seen it where he's like going
Yeah,
25,
I mean,
28. Like
you have games
he
where he
could
can
do
go
it.
crazy. But as you
Yeah.
said though, it's not really against the teams where that they need him to go crazy for. Like he's not going.
Yep.
He's not really. I
And
haven't seen him
and
like.
if he starts
I mean,
doing
he has.
that, then we all gonna be on his. Then we all gonna be riding Zach Levine. Like, oh,
Yeah,
Zach's
yeah.
nice. Zach's
Yeah,
nice.
like I haven't like I don't
It's
can't
gonna be
remember
that.
him him matched up against like Jaylen Brown going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
probably has,
Yeah.
but I like consistently like him going after the top guys. Like I don't really see
Yeah. I
that.
don't see it. Yeah.
But when they playing teams, I see him going for 50 against regular teams. So it's like
And the funny thing is that
that's the
yeah,
difference.
you
'Cause if
mentioned Jaylen Brown is like, I think Jaylen Brown is better than him, and he's been. And the funny thing is that
yeah,
like hands out, I
around
think
the
Jaylen
same
Brown is
time.
better.
I think
Yep.
Jalen Brown and I think that Zach Levine overall became like he did his thing, like he became a better player, but I would take Jalen Brown because I just think that he helps you win more than Zach Levine does. Even though I think Zach Levine might be a better player, like we playing 1-on-1, I'll probably pick Zach Levine. But as far as a team aspect, I'm picking Jalen Brown every time.
I'll bring Jaylen Brown, yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
But for Chicago, they got him at 41.5. What you got them? And that's disrespectful. 41
That's
and a
kind of
half.
low. That's kind of low.
That's exactly. That's putting them at the 7-8. That's the playing tournament, ideally,
Yeah.
compared to last
Yeah,
year. So
that
it's
might be
like
a 9 seed. That might be a 9 seed.
that's a nice seed. Like,
Yeah.
damn, I got Chicago out the playoffs.
I would have them. I have them at like 40, between 43 and 45. So I'll have them at the over.
Yeah, I'm around the same mark. I got them hovering around. That's disrespect, man. I think we gotta give them credit, man. Losing Levine halfway through the season for the rest of the season, that's a big hurt. They only had two of the. They really got a big four. They only had two of the big four. I think if everybody stays healthy, they're a 46-win team. I think
All
you
right.
get there. I think they
All
can
right.
get there.
Over.
Yeah, so I got the over on there.
All right. All right. So next team here, essentially, we're gonna go to is the Pistons. Interesting young team. I think one of the young teams in the league.
Can I start this one? I definitely want to start this one just because,
Yeah.
like, like you just mentioned right there, the Pistons. Go ahead.
So just they added Jaden Ivey, fifth pick, and then they added Bogdanovich and Alex Burke too from the Knicks. They added Alex Burke.
Your
So
boy.
all right, so let me know. Yeah, you started out. Let me know what you think about the Pistons.
They also added your boy Kevin Knox. What you talking about? Don't forget about your boy Kev.
Oh, I even added him.
Let it go. Let it go. All right. So this is what I'm saying about Detroit. Last year, I'm a annual NBA League Pass subscriber. So last year, I watched a lot of Detroit Pistons basketball just because I was a fan of Kate Cunningham. Their boys got young talent. The addition of Jaden Ivey, watching him in college at Purdue, like that boy is gonna be a talent. And seeing him in the summer league, how well his athleticism transitioned to the league, that was one of my questions because I saw that he was more athletic than the players he's played against in college, but it was like, is that same thing going to hold up in the league? And he's looking like explosive John Morant a little bit. It's like John Morant. It's like, okay. And one of my concerns was three-point shooting. And that's developing. So they added him. Then you got Bogdanovich, which is going to be a starting three, but good transition for the young players. You got that veteran in there that shows you how to work at it every single night and get better. I love Dwayne Casey. He's a great head coach. I love how he works with young players. I love how he works and builds a culture, as you see what he's doing right now. They play hard every game. They play hard. Like if you watch the games, like I said, they were down games. They come back. They play games hard, but they still think. I think they're going to need one more year. Like everyone's hype over Jalen Duran. I wasn't hype about this pick. I think it was good for what they did in the draft overall, but I'm not hype about Duran. Saw him in college. I think he's undersized, but if his athleticism holds out, he could be a double-double every night in Africa rebounds and just points, just getting offensive rebounds. But I think overall the team is good. Nerlens Noel is like a big pickup for them, of course. And defensively, that's good. They got Isaiah Stewart, the young talent at 5. Yeah. He's another developing double-double every night. So they got a lot of young talent. Kate Cunningham as well, of course, is buckets every night. They got what's the point guard they drafted 2 years ago? I forgot. He got hurt last year. He's developing.
Yeah,
lefty. I know. He's developing as well. So
yeah, he's playing well. He's from overseas.
Yeah, he's from overseas. Yeah.
Yeah, he did pretty well in the summer.
Killian Hayes. Not
Yeah,
Killian
yeah.
Hayes. They got Killian Hayes too. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
It is Killian Hayes, yeah. Yep.
No,
And
but
they got
wait, what's
Amadou Diallo. They got a squad.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think they got a squad. I think they're pretty good. Sadiq Bey was low
And
key
Sadiq,
last year.
how did I forget about Sadiq Bey? His
Yeah,
development last year after getting traded from, not traded, but after getting picked up. I'm sorry about them. I mean, his development last year, he's going to have a big jump this year in aspect
yeah,
of his role. He's going to be probably their second best player. He's huge. Like that was huge.
yeah. I mean, I
He's
like
going to take.
Durant.
Yeah,
I like the Durant move. I think he's raw, but they could grow with him. He could be like a solid player. Not now, I don't think, but in the future. But I think that Ivy with Cunningham could be a great 1-2 combo for years. I just think that they're gonna, and I think for them, they just not gonna be good enough to be good.
yeah, they're
So
not going to be enough to be good. Yeah, they're going to be
yeah,
fun to watch though.
yeah, and they're gonna wind up probably getting the top 5 pick next year too. So
Yep.
they're gonna be even better. They're gonna be even better because realistically, I want to see them like really play because I think they're a good young team. I think they're gonna be fun to watch. But at the end of the day, wins wise, don't have them up there pretty high.
No. So the over under for the Detroit Pistons right now, they got them at 29.5. I got that on the under. Yeah. Just look at the fact that I forgot they lost Jeremy Grant. That's a huge loss. That was like their
Yeah,
best player.
that
I think
was the best player.
Sadiq Bey takes his spot, but he's not that good enough to be that effective. And to bring in
Yeah,
almost 20 points a night. I don't think that's happening.
and I
So
think the East is just too good. There's only about 3 teams that I think is on their level out of
yeah,
15. So it's like.
yeah.
I'll have them probably under the 29. I got
I
them.
got
I
them
got
at
them as the
26,
top 5.
27 wins. Yeah.
Yeah, I got them as a
Yeah, they
top
got
5
a top
pick.
five pick.
Top
Top
five,
five
top
pick.
7. I mean, I feel like they could. I mean, unless Kate Cunningham and Ivy just come out and just the next Russell
Yeah,
Westbrook
let's K Cunningham has got to have a jump. He's got to have like just a jump,
Yeah,
like no other. He's got to have a serious jump. That's what's
you
got
have
to
to have
happen.
a Jordan jump for them to be good. For them to be good, nah. I don't think it's happening. I'm gonna give them a solid 25 wins.
Solid 23 on my end. Yes, sir. Solid 23. All right, we got next.
All right, so next one's here. We're gonna go to Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland.
So I mean, Cleveland. Obviously, if you don't know, I'm guessing you would. They added Donovan Mitchell. They were the 9 seed. They were the 9 seed last year, so they missed the playoffs. But they were 6 games over 500, which is pretty great for where they were the year
Playing
before.
tournament is the playoffs, man.
That's not the playoffs, man. I'm not counting. If you lose in the play-in tournament, you didn't make the playoffs because you were a lottery team at that point. That was a lottery. So nah, they didn't make the playoffs. But
If you didn't play in a series, you're not in the playoffs.
nah. Playing tournament is not a playoffs because you got to play to get in. There's a play in the playoffs. There's a play in to get in. Nah, we don't count that. But
Right. I
but
feel you. Right.
at the end of the day, they still had a good year though. I mean, they lost 2 playing games. They had 2 opportunities and they lost both of them. So, but they had a good year. There was 6 games over 500. So like they actually was balling. They had injuries at the end of the year. That was the biggest thing. And like I mean, obviously Garland took that lead. He became an all
Yep.
star. I think did Jared Allen he's an all star too. Jared Allen, I think.
Yeah, Jared Allen's also big guy. He was hurt, so I think he got replaced. No, he played. I think
He was a replacement. I
played.
think he was a replacement.
He was
Actually,
replaced.
he was
Yeah.
a replacement. So I mean, the thing is, about at All Star break, they were one of the best teams in the league. They were like
Yeah.
they were like a 3 seed or something, and then they just once the injuries came, like Mobley missed games, and then Jared
Yeah,
Allen
the injuries
missed a
hurt
lot of
them.
games.
Yeah, the injuries hurt them big time. I never seen a team hurt them so bad. They lost like a good amount, like the last like 15 out of like 23 games. Like
Yeah,
they went on a streak. They were losing like bad games.
yeah,
But
they were
I love
bad.
their roster. I love Mobley. Like Mobley is one of my favorite young players to watch. He's a double every night, and he's going to develop people more. Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, you like
Yeah,
Karis LeVert,
yeah,
Garland. You know, I think you and I we saw Garland play in person at the Jordan Classic. I think the third
Well,
I think we saw him at that one. Yeah, we saw him a while ago at the Jordan Classic play. Yeah, so
I mean, I
it's pretty
think that
crazy.
I mean I saw I was at the Nets game when they played Cleveland at the play-in for the playing game, and obviously like I don't think Jared Allen played that game. I think he was actually hurt, but if they had someone like Donovan Mitchell for that game, they probably would have won. Like they
Yeah,
like
hands down. Yeah,
he's
yeah,
exactly what they needed. Like, I mean,
yeah,
Garland is good, but he's not a scorer. Like, oh, I'm going to give it to you at the end of the game.
yeah.
I'm gonna go crazy in
He's
the
what you
last.
need. He's what you need as of like a point guard. Like he would
Yeah,
get people involved, but he could score. Like if you need to
yeah,
get a bucket, he score, and
yeah.
he's
He
going to
can
knock
score. Yeah,
down the open
he's
three.
not.
Like
He's not the closer that Donovan Mitchell is, and at the same
yeah,
time, they also. I mean, obviously, Mobley was only a rookie, so it was like he was still limited as far as like being
yeah.
able to
I think
score.
Mobley was hurt. Like he played, but he wasn't that healthy. I
Well,
think
yeah,
he
towards
was.
the end, yeah, yeah, towards the
Yeah,
end, yeah. But I'm just saying, just overall, he's like he's really good, but he's not at the point yet where he's like, oh, I could take over these games every night. So Donovan
yeah,
Mitchell actually fulfills that role that they actually needed, like someone that they could
yeah.
get the ball.
He's gonna have All Star year again. He's probably gonna. I would be
Yeah,
surprised he's an MVP candidate. We're surprised he's an MVP
I don't
candidate.
know, I don't know about I don't know, but I mean, I would say in the
He
East,
should have been in New York.
I mean,
God
in
damn
the
it.
East though, he has to be like what, maybe second or third best shooting guards, I would say.
In the East,
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
would probably
yeah.
put Harden. I would probably put Harden ahead of him just out of respect.
I would not put.
Not last year. Not just going up last year. I'm just talking about overall.
Do you give
Not
it? Okay, overall,
not last year, but overall. But
I'm
other
thinking
than
about
that,
I'm adding last year because that's overall now.
yeah. But I don't know if we just could go up one year because
Is it
I don't think that
okay?
last year was Harden. No, I don't think he's gonna be that guy like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
See, so not to jump back into the Sixers though, but like the Harden that the Nets got when they first
when
got
he first
Harden,
got there,
that's
yeah,
the Sixers. That's the Harden that the Sixers need. That's
yeah.
the Harden. If they get that Harden, he
That's
wasn't
what
thinking
I'm
about
saying. That
scoring
was
that much.
only the season before. That was last season. Like I'm saying, it's not like
Yeah.
I think last year was a lot. Is like him trying to get out of teams and all the him being at the Nets. I think all that kind of played a
So
factor.
you
I
still
think
think he's a top three shooting guard in the East or top two over Donovan Mitchell?
I'm not sure. I think I would put him over Donovan Mitchell. Yes, James Harden. Yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming you got Tatum as the best shooting guard in the East.
Nah, Tatum not shooting guard. Tatum plays small forward. Jalen Brown would be the shooting guard.
I'll say Jalen Brown. Okay, you got Jalen Brown. All right.
But I don't think I don't know if I have Jalen Brown over Donovan Mitchell.
I don't have Jalen Brown over Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
got
I don't
Donovan
think
Mitchell
I have
over
that.
him.
I don't think I have him. But he's definitely up there. But nah, I don't think I have
So
Jalen Brown.
Jimmy Butler is your number one shooting guard?
I wouldn't consider Jimmy Butler a shooting guard either, though, because he played at three.
He does, but he could. Okay.
I'm thinking of
Point
like
taken.
I mean, Jimmy Butler played the three last year
Now
or
you're
the
right.
year
You're right.
before
Point
that.
taken. Point taken. So who you got is the top two in the East? Top two guard in the East.
I'm thinking it would be. I mean, I'll have James Harden and it might be Donovan Mitchell number two. I mean, I'm trying to think of who else. I can't
I'm trying
think
to
of.
go through the roster right. I'm going through teams right now in
Yeah.
my head, and I'm like, that's not really much.
I'm definitely not. I'm putting him over Zach Levine. Definitely.
You put him over DeRozan. Well, they play. They alternate the
Yeah,
position.
either or. I'll put him over. I'll put him on either or. Yeah, I mean, probably James
Yeah,
Harden.
pretty much. So in my eyes, I got Donovan Mitchell, then James Harden,
I'm trying to
and
think
then
of who
Jalen Brown.
else.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm looking through the
Well,
rosters. I'm looking through the teams.
Bradley Bill. I knew there was somebody else.
Okay,
I
I'll
don't. I think I
I'll
would
put
put Bradley
Bradley
Bill
Beal.
over. I think I'll put Bradley Bill over Donovan Mitchell. I think I would.
I would not put Bradley Beal over
Individual.
Donovan Mitchell just because
I
of the simple
don't
fact you just
know.
said he hasn't proven anything in the playoffs. He hasn't done anything. Like I gotta
Yeah,
put Donovan
but
Mitchell over Bradley Beal. I gotta. I
I
cannot
don't
do that.
know. I don't know.
I'll, and the fact is, I'll put Bradley Beal over Jalen Brown just because. I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean Bradley Bill has been. I don't know. I don't know. I think Bradley Bill is better than Donovan Mitchell. I do.
All
I
right,
do. I
back to
think
the Cavs. All
I do.
right.
Yeah. All right, but back to the Cavs. Back to the Cavs. I think Donovan Mitchell adds what the Cavs need to be a
Yes,
successful team. With that being
he's gonna
said,
be.
successful
He's
for
gonna be.
them.
He's gonna be the player for the next 5 years. He's gonna
Yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah. It's not a that trade was not for
Why the
that
Knicks gonna get him?
that trade was not for next season. That trade is for 3 or 4 seasons down the road. So I get that. But with that being said, I still see them maybe like 5. Like
All
4 or
right,
5.
they got them. All right, they got them at 47 and a half wins.
I
That
think
is
that's
around
right.
4 or
I
5.
think that's pretty spot on. I like that's right around where I would have it.
So, all right.
Because I
I'm
have
around.
them
Yeah, I got
like
them at 48. Yeah, I got them around 48.
I have
Maybe
them
even.
like I would say
I got
like
them over.
yeah 40. Yeah, I don't know.
I think
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell gets them those wins that they needed. That was needed.
I think they're going to do well in the regular season because they just added in Donovan Mitchell and they're going to be ready to go. And they're young
Yep.
and all that. It's like I feel like other teams, like a team like the Heat, they never really ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not saying they're not going to be good, but they're not like just certain teams is just not always ready to go from the beginning. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the Cavs are going to be a team that's like, all right, we're just going to just jump right into it, and then
Because
we
they understand what it means to have a good start.
yeah, yeah. So I think they're gonna be one of those teams. To try to think of like the top teams. Like I mean, like the Nets. I don't think the Nets is gonna be ready to go like that. I don't think they're just gonna turn it on and just come out
Right.
crazy. They
No,
could,
I don't
but
think they got
I
him. I
don't
don't think they
know. I
got
don't
him
know.
in
If they, yeah, I don't think that's them. I don't think that's them. But all right.
them.
So yeah. So I'm gonna go with 47. I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with the over and say 50.
I got the over too.
Because I think that they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed, and I think that the East could have like 4 or 5 teams with 50 wins, 50 plus wins. So
All
I'm
right,
gonna
got
have
the
them.
over.
So I have them with I have them with the over. All right. So next one's here. We're gonna go through paces.
Indiana. Um, it's a bad roster, man.
Yeah. No, paces not gonna be that good. They're gonna
This
be
base is not a good
definitely
team,
try to get the
man.
top 5. They definitely gonna try to get the top 5 pick.
Yeah, that's top 5 right there. That's lottery.
Yeah.
That
I
is not a
mean,
good roster.
they
Tyrese
have
Halliburton is the best player. Benedict Mathurin from Arizona was a great pickup in the draft. 2 guard they needed. Um, After that, they just got a bunch of young talent. Chris Duarte, Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, Miles Turner. Won't be surprised if he's not moved by the trade deadline.
Yeah,
I
Miles Turner
mean,
might be. Miles Turner been on the trade block for like 3 years, so I don't think he's gonna last that long. What's the point guard they got from the Kings?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton. He's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
they're not
solid.
gonna
He reminds me of Mark Jackson. He's like a Mark Jackson to me.
they're not gonna be good.
Deadass.
I don't have much else to say about them because I don't think they'll be good at all.
I'm like, I'm looking at the roster. I'm trying to think about like potential. Rick Carlisle, he might. I can't believe he's going through a rebuild. That's it. That's all I got. Indiana
So
over under 23 and a half. I got under. I don't
yeah,
see them getting 20 wins this year, but I see them finishing
yeah.
around.
What's his name? Victor one whatever the fuck. They might be getting him. Not the number one number one
Yeah, Victor
overall.
Wembanyama. Yep, they might be
They're gonna
tanking
be
this year.
they're gonna be in the tank. They're gonna be
8
on
wins for Indiana this year. 8 wins. I swear, team circling their calendar for the Indiana this year.
yeah,
Mouth the morning because this roster is bad. This roster is bad. There
I
is
mean
nobody on this roster.
they're gonna be one of the yeah, they're worse than the Pistons. Robson's worse than the Magic too. Yeah, they might be worse.
Yeah. At least the Magic have young players we know. Like there's been around.
Yeah.
They have people that have been on their roster for a while. This roster is bad. Like
Yeah.
there's nobody been on this roster more than 3 years except for
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner.
And he's
Oh, I
not
forgot they
gonna,
got Buddy Hield. But again, won't be
I don't
surprised if
think
he get
Buddy Hill
moved.
I can see Buddy Hill not being there at the end of the year either.
Yeah.
I can
Like
see
who
both
wouldn't want
him
to pick up a
and
championship like
Marcelo
that?
going to be on the Nets
Yep,
at the end
I
of the
see that
year.
happening.
I can see both of that shit happen, and then they's going to try to get the number one pick. They're gonna get the
Yep,
draft pick from the Nets. All right, so yeah, they're gonna be trash. Last team
they're
in
gonna
the
be trash
Central.
under
Last team in the Central is the Bucks.
Milwaukee.
So I mean, I
Thought
don't
about
think
them
the
as a
Bucks
team
really
that I'm interested in
added.
watching.
I don't think the Bucks really added anyone.
No, of course they never really do.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, they're still going to be a really good team. Chris Middleton is going to miss, I think, the first month of the season, or something like that, first couple weeks.
Yeah,
So he's still
still
dealing with that.
recovering.
I think it's still a wrist injury or something. So he's going to be out. I mean, I think this team is still going to be solid. I don't think they're
They
going to.
added that. Their major addition was Joe Ingles. That was the only addition, but that's a decent addition.
Yeah, not terrible. I mean, I think for them, I mean, I think they could go on a run in the playoffs. I don't see them finishing in the first place in the East. I don't think they're going to be like that. I mean, as far as in the regular season, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this team that could probably end up ahead of them, but I don't because it's like they're just putting a lot on Giannis now. It's like honestly, it's like every year that it happens and they don't keep adding people, I think it's just making it a lot tougher for Giannis. And
Right.
he could handle it. Not saying that he can't handle it, and he's already proven that he can. But I don't think for the regular season that's why his minutes he doesn't play a lot of minutes like that, and a huge part of it is because they understand that they
He's
need
the
like
only. He's their weapon.
yeah. So it's like they limit his minutes as much as they can because of that, and I think it's a huge factor of that is because they don't have another person that can score. I mean,
Why is that? Why do you
can,
think
but
they have not gone after someone? Milwaukee.
I mean, since they got Drew, I mean, the only person that they got in the last 4 years was Drew
Drew
Holiday,
Holiday. Yeah.
which I mean, which I think is a huge pickup. But at the same time, Drew Holiday, I don't think he's getting better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Get
you know what I'm
older.
saying? Like, going into a year, I don't think Drew
Yeah,
Holiday.
he's about to reach his mid-30s.
Yeah, I don't think he's technically getting better. Like Chris Middleton, he's getting better. So it's like, all right, we don't have to pick up somebody because our guys are going to get better. And for Drew Holiday, I think Drew Holiday is a really good player, but I don't think like, oh, Drew Holiday's going to be better next year. So we're going to be a better team.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
have a
think
lot of players like that that's not getting better though. They have a lot of players like that. You got Bobby Portis, he's not getting better. He's
that's what I'm saying. That's my
Brook
point.
Lopez, he's not getting better. He's past that. Like he's
But
got players that's already
that's what I'm saying. So they're not getting players. They're not bringing in players that make them better, and their players that they have there aren't players that are like, oh, Brook Lopez is going to be better next year.
potential.
Like,
Yeah.
nah, he's not. But he's still good. He's just not going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's hard to say. Like, you know, like for example, Boston. Like, for example, a team like Boston. Boston could not add anyone, and I still think they will be better because Jason Tatum and Jeremy Brown will be better next year than they were this year. You can't say that about. I mean, obviously, I think Giannis is going to be better than he was last year, which is scary.
I'm looking at their roster right now. It really is the same roster, same exact roster.
Same team.
And like you said, there's nobody really.
Not saying that they can't.
There's nobody developing. Yeah, there's nobody developing that you can say like, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, that's the next one. That's the next one for them. Like they got all their chips on Giannis.
Yeah, everything. It's like, I mean, obviously Drew Holiday was huge pickup for them, but at the same time, Drew Holiday only has a few.
He's 32, really going on his 13th year in the league.
Yeah, he's
13th year. Damn, Drew.
But now he was young though when he came in. Was he like 18?
Yeah, he was young. He was young boy. Yeah, we know that. You know, we remember young Drew.
But yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I don't know. That's the thing about that team is I just don't know, and it's not all their fault because it's not like a lot of people want to go to the Bucks, like. But they need another. They either need like a young up and coming type player, or they need like another star, and another star is.
That's what I said. I don't know why they didn't go after someone. Like why they wouldn't go after someone. Like go after go get somebody, trade for someone.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with their roster too, though, is like who could they really trade? It's like you're not trading Middleton, you're
But
not
it's
trading.
like, who are they really paying? Giannis and Chris Middleton is like,
That's
where
it.
their money really tied up at?
Well, I mean, but the free agency wasn't crazy this year.
That's true.
The top people were traded. Yeah, like Murray would have been really good for them. Like getting
Yeah,
Murray from the Spurs.
but that's what I'm saying though. Like you don't even hear them going after players. Like you
Yeah,
don't hear them interested. It's like you don't ever hear them say, "Oh yeah, this person's out there in the market." Like they may be going after the Bucks.
yeah, yeah,
It's like, who you are paying? Where y'all money tied up at?
yeah.
Well,
I don't.
let me not get that wrong. I forgot they're paying Drew. Drew is getting
Yeah,
paid.
yeah. I mean, but I mean, the thing is with
And
them
bro,
is like they don't really have the play. Like it's not like they're gonna have high draft picks. Besides Chris Middleton and Giannis, who else did you really want besides maybe Drew Holiday? But it's like you take away Drew,
yeah,
you,
and
you add in,
only
who you
certain
gonna add in to
teams,
make.
only certain teams want Drew Holiday.
Yeah, and
Who
people
want
don't
Drew
want
Holiday.
like what's his like niggas that they have coming off the bench like what's his nigga from Duke and all that like nobody really want the things they have on their bench like that. Like honestly, like the things that they bring up their bench
True.
like DiVincenzo. I don't know if he's even there, but
He's not there
oh
no more. He's actually not there no more. Yep. They got
yeah, like
George Hill over here. Their bench is older than the starting.
yeah, it's like it's no one that other teams want besides the players that they need to keep on their
I'm
team.
really interested to see what this team does this year. Because
Yeah, I mean,
it's either they could take they could be consistent and stay in the top 4, top 3, or they could take a real big step back. Because this
well,
roster
I
is
mean,
looking real
I
suspect.
think that in the playoffs they're gonna be good. They're gonna be obviously could be championship contenders because I think if Middleton played last year, they would be right there in the championship. I really do believe that. But at the same time, though, is the thing with their team is like, let's say that they lose in the second round, which any team I think could lose in the second round in the East because those top 4 teams, I think any of those top 4 teams could win a championship. So it's like, let's say they lose in the second round, like how they did. Then what do you do?
Gotcha.
Because I mean, obviously they won a championship, but other than that, like they haven't really had that much playoff success outside of the championship season. And like if you really look at all their years that they had Giannis, they've lost in the first and second round pretty much every year besides the year that they won it all. So it's like, and I think they might have went to the East Conference once, like other than that. But it's like it's not like they've been like great in the playoffs. So it's like, what do you do with a team like that? Do you break them up or?
That's
But
true.
the only way to break them up would be Chris Middleton because
So the last 5 years, the Bucks 2017, 2018, they're 44-38. They lost in the East Conference Finals first round. 28, 2019, 16, 22. They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. 29, 20. They lost in the Eastern Conference Semifinals. 2021, they lost in the NBA champ. They won the championship. And that year they had. That was the COVID year though, right? No, that wasn't a COVID year.
no,
They
it was
won less. They won less games that year than they won any other year. The
yeah.
championship year, the championship year, they only won 46 games.
Yeah, because they were like a 3 seed or something.
Yeah, they were the 3 seed. Yep,
Yeah, so yeah, and then last year they lost in the second round to the
second
Celtics.
round. Yep, Eastern
Yeah, so
Conference
it's like
Semis.
if
And
if
they were
they
the 3 seed last year with 51 wins. So yeah, the East is just heavier.
yeah, so it's like if they don't go far in the play, if they don't make it to the finals or championship, it's like what do you do with a team? And it's like the only way to break up that team would be Chris Middleton because obviously you're not moving Giannis. So it's like you
Yeah,
it's really just Chris Middleton. That's the only player that other teams would actually want.
I agree.
That that's so what is the over under
So
for
the over under we got for the Milwaukee Bucks is 52.5.
52 and a half.
I'm going under.
Nah,
I got them at. I just think just looking at the roster, I think you brought up some good points. If injury catches them again, I think the East will catch up with them because a lot of teams in the East was injured last year too. But I think this year the East will be a different ball game if teams are consistently healthy. This team, if 2 players get injured, if Brook Lopez gets injured, if if
Well, if
Bobby
Giannis,
Porter's
if
gets hurt,
anything ever happens to Giannis, God forbid, hopefully nothing doesn't.
God
But
forbid, that's the season. They're
If
done.
Giannis has to miss 10 games, they probably gonna lose like 7.
Yep, yep.
Unless Chris Middleton going crazy or something, he tried to go for most comeback player of the year or some shit. That's the only
Yep.
way.
So I got them around 49 wins, 50 wins. So I got them hovering around the 5-4 seed.
I would say I would give them over. I would say I would have them like 55 wins.
Just because you got them winning the Central, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and I think that Giannis is
Yeah.
just. I think that Giannis gonna play and then he's just gonna go on the tear and just.
Yeah, I'm gonna change that. Giannis is still in his prime.
Yeah,
He's still
I got him
my
going. I
favorite
got him
player.
like 55 wins. I got him like
So I'll
55.
take the over. I got them at 50. I say the 54, 55. I got the over. We take the over.
All right. So let's go to the last conference, the last division here,
Division.
Southeast Division. We're gonna go to start with the Atlanta Hawks, who added Murray from Spurs and trade, and they looking pretty good. I'm not gonna hold you; they look pretty good. They just re-signed. They just extended Hunter's contract. So I mean, they're looking pretty good. Last year they were what, the eighth seed. They got into the
Yeah.
eighth. I think they finished with the
Yep.
ninth best record. The ninth best record, and then they got to the eighth seed. I mean, they got Trey Young and Murray. I think Trey Young and Murray could possibly
One of the
be.
top 3 1 and 2 combos in the East or in the league, maybe. Like hands down.
Yeah.
I think that was a great pickup. Didn't see it coming at all. Didn't expect it,
Yeah,
but very good pickup. I like it. I like the pickup. Their roster decent. I love Nick McMillan. Nick McMillan is one of my favorite coaches. So
yeah,
just got to throw that out there. But still don't. I still can't stand Atlanta for what they did us 2 years ago. But my
yeah.
thing with Atlanta, what bothers me is their ability to be consistent around Trey. Like Trey goes off, who else is going to support him in that when that comes down to that, right? And what had them good the year that they beat us and what brought them Eastern Conference Finals, that they were hitting threes, which last year they struggled last year. They were not consistent 3-point shooters, and they played defense. Defense is huge, I think. And then one thing I think people don't realize last year, what helped him out last year is that he learned how to be a better facilitator. His assists went up. He became a better passer. With Dejounte Murray there now, who could now defend, he'll be able to defend a better point guard on the other end, take his hands off a Trey. Now you can hide Trey on defensive end. He gets more energy on the offensive end. I think they do get back in Eastern Conference playoffs. They hover around a 5 seed. I think they hover around 5-6 seed if people stay healthy, because Capella is a big factor. He rebounds all day. Bogdanovich is 3-point city. DeAndre Hunter, he had a little injury-prone year last year, but that he was one of their big factors in success too. That year they beat the Knicks in the playoffs, that Eastern Conference final year. So I think they do a pretty good year. I think they have a good year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think they're a team that's definitely going to be better than what they were last year, and I do agree that like Murray adds exactly what they needed. Like they needed someone that when Trey Young didn't have the ball, he was off the court or whatever the case may be, that could actually not only score but create for others, and they didn't have anything like that, and it wasn't even close. Like so, it's like when Trey Young wasn't going for 40, it's like they didn't have anyone that could set someone up. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Murray he's going to make Capella better and all these other guys like coming up the bench better or even the starters better. So I think adding him is going to be key because it takes a lot of pressure off of Trey, because like as good as Trey is, it's hard, especially for a point guard, to carry a team.
Do it by yourself,
Being scorer, passer, doing like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot for them to do that over a course of a season. So I think that that's going to help them out a lot. It's tough because the East is crazy. So I don't know necessarily if they'll be better than the AFC. Which they were AFC last year. I think they'll be better than that. I have them around maybe like 5 or 6 though. Like 5 or 6.
I think they're around there. I think Dejounte Murray is a huge addition, like you said, huge. Also with the fact that I think Murray is good for the NBA because people didn't really see him in San Antonio. Like you really didn't see him in San Antonio. Now like, he's gonna be in Atlanta a lot of early games. We're gonna see DeJounte Murray how really good this guy is. So
and he's like a triple double guy, so he gets assists, points, like he can do a little
That's
bit
how
of
like
everything.
people really like seeing DeJounte Murray play. Like he's gonna be good. And I'm like, damn, why didn't that was my second option that the Knicks should have went after. I'm like, bro.
Especially the fact that Atlanta didn't really give up that much to get him. It's like, bro, Knicks definitely could have did that, bro. But they were so zoned in on Brunson. Well, I'm not gonna be mad at it because I'm gonna give Brunson a chance because I think he's gonna do well. But I don't think he's Murray.
He's not the savior though. He's not the savior though. But
he's not.
Right, so the
over under for Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks over under right now we got is 45.5. Like I said, I got the over on that one. I just said I got the 50. I got them around 51 wins, 50 wins.
Ooh, I actually might go under.
All right, so you don't got them at the 5-6 seed. So they go under that compared to last year's standing.
Wait, what was it?
45.5, 45.
Oh yeah, I think I have them between like 47 and I don't think they get 50. I think they'd be right under 50, like the 46 to 48 range.
Yeah, I may be over projecting, but I think they get a good year. I think I'm just trusting Nate. Trusting Nate.
Yeah, but I think they like at their best maybe a 5 or 6. I don't know. Possibly.
Yeah, 5-6. Yeah, you're right.
And I don't think 5-6 is 50 wins.
Yeah,
I think that's like right under. I think they'll be right under. All right.
But I got the over. We got the over. We both got the over.
Yeah, we go with the over. I go with the over. All right. So next one is the Charlotte Hornets, which is the
Melo.
turn into the Bengals of the NBA. Everybody in the team, they got DUIs, drugs, weed. they got gun charges.
I never saw a team get so many headlines for off the court behavior.
Like, they are the Bengals now.
It was week after week after. It's like, damn, Charlotte. Like,
Bo Knight just got something like everybody's like every week. I mean, it's tough sledding down there. I don't know what's going on in Charlotte, but
like Jordan, what we doing out there, Jay?
Yeah.
Mike,
LaMelo's out in the beginning of the season, so he's gonna miss the start of the season. So yeah, I don't know. I think they had a good year last year. They didn't make playoffs. I think they had a good year though for what they have.
Yeah.
But they might be in the tank zone because they're not going to be in the playoffs this year. I don't really see that happening. And it's like at this point, you might as well try to go in the draft and get somebody good. That could join LaMelo and be the face of the team because like Miles Bridges is gone, Montrezl Harrell gone, Bo Knight he's got a DUI or some shit. LaMelo's hurt. Like I don't even know who they even have right now at this point. Honestly, they got Scary Terry. Terry Rozier.
Miles is going for the year.
Who?
Bridges is going for the year.
He was a free agent. Remember, he had the incident with his the domestic violence thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no one signed him. Yeah, no one signed him yet. Yeah, right.
He said he might sign with Detroit though. Yeah, so I think he might sign with. They said I actually just seen that. I think he might sign with Detroit if he didn't already. But Hornets is gonna be one of the worst teams in the league. What's their over under?
We got them at over under for Charlotte right now is 33.5. So I'm definitely going. I can't believe they got them at 34 wins. Like who's on their roster? But
yeah,
I'm going with the Melo being hurt. But my opinion is like just like last year for all my sports gamblers, this is a great player prop team to touch. Like when you're during the regular season, just because LaMelo is triple double possibly every night. So great player props. But this team slacks. They lack to stay healthy. Gordon Hayward never healthy. PJ Washington not that healthy all the time. Terry Rozier never stays healthy. Like this team just doesn't stay healthy. Like no one stays healthy in the team. LaMelo's out. Like They signed Dennis Smith Jr. Wow, I can't believe that. Wow.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of, and then they have a lot of
Even
players
if
that's identical to each other. They have a lot of players who are very identical to each other. Like,
even
so
if
it's like
healthy, they not that good.
they're not that good, man. 33 and a half. I'm going under.
I'm going under. I'm definitely going under on that one. All right, let's move on. Next ones here are the Orlando Magic. So the Magic, they got Paulo in the draft. They got what's his name back? The that was like that's been hurt for like the last like 3 years. Plays a
Um,
small forward. Um,
um, for
they also did they add anyone else? I don't think they added anyone else, and
they got
I don't,
Mobamba,
yeah, Mo
Harkless, Cole
I
Anthony,
Well, Cole Anthony, I think Cole Anthony's going to have a pretty good year.
Kobe White. Kobe,
That's
no, they don't got Kobe White. Kobe White is on
from Gonzaga, the pick from Gonzaga.
Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, I think he might be injured right now, but he's going to be pretty good. I think Paulo's going to I think Paulo's going to be really good. Have him
That was
at
a good
the
pick. That was a good pick by them. I kind of judged that pick at first because I'm a North Carolina fan, so I kind of judged Paolo, but I didn't really respect Paolo's game in college. I think it was more he just took advantage because of his manpower. But
But yeah,
again, reviews and seeing him in the summer league and seeing how well his game transitioned to the pros, he's a pro player. Um, I think they'd be decent. If he could develop a consistent jump shooting game. I
yeah,
think they'd be. I think that's exactly the player they needed, surrounded with Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. They could have a decent like front court if Mo Bamba stays healthy. And Mo Bamba is like a unicorn in a way. He can do
yeah,
everything, but he just never healthy. But now they believe in him to develop him. You put him with Paolo. They look decent. But they're not gonna be good at all.
yeah. No, they're not going to be good at
They're
all. But
not gonna be good, but they got potential. The first time in a while, I can say Orlando actually has a player where I can say, okay, they can build around this cat. Like
yeah, he could be.
Jalen
Yeah,
Suggs, I think they could build around. I didn't think they could build around Cole Anthony.
yeah,
They haven't dropped a player where I can say, oh, they could build. This is a franchise player. They could probably build around.
yeah,
Paolo
yeah.
could be that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't really add anyone else besides him, but I do think that he could be a star in this league. I honestly do believe that. And
Yeah,
but I agree with you that I don't think they will be good anytime soon, not just this year, but I don't think they'll be good next year either. But
yeah,
unless they really are trash and they get like a top three pick, then they could possibly be good in like another 2 years. Yeah, even next year. No matter
even
what
next year, they just
they're
never have
not
a
gonna
good
be good
coach.
in the
They
next
just
2
never
years.
have good GM. They never have good front office and like
Yeah,
just
they
Orlando is just inconsistent
not
consistently.
good.
They're
Yeah, they're not
consistently
good.
inconsistent. Like they're like the Knicks in a way, but the Knicks are just do it to ourselves. Orlando's just poor managers, just all around.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
do everything bad.
No, no,
I don't get
Orlando's not good, but they've had success here or there. Like they made playoffs the last like a few years ago, whatever. But no, they're not going to be good in this year
They
or next
did.
year. They're going to be top.
They did. You're right.
Jonathan Isaacs. That's what I was thinking of before.
Yes, Jonathan Isaac.
Getting
Yes,
him for
Florida
like
State.
3 years. Even if he's 100%, they're not going to be good.
He was supposed to be Jalen Brown before Jalen Brown, and more.
I don't
He
know who
was
he's
supposed to
supposed
be
to
nice.
be. He's not supposed to
Came
be
out
good.
of FSU, sophomore, freshman. Man.
Yeah. So what's the over
I got
under?
him at 26 and a half over under. Under,
Might be
bro. I'm
under.
going. That's under. That's
He
under for
might
me,
get
man.
20. I got him around 20 wins, 22 wins.
Let me think about this. Let me look at this roster. Before I make this decision, let me think of this roster.
I mean,
I definitely got the
besides the Pacers, they might have the worst roster in the East. Hornets might be up there too, but
one is up there too.
I think they have
I
the East.
I forgot about Bobo, RJ Hampton, Markel Fultz, Gary Harris. Their roster's not that bad compared to what we've seen.
Not good.
But
this is a Bobo.
they're not good.
A Bobo at the 3 or some shit. That'd be interesting.
That actually won't be bad if he could defend it.
I
He can
mean,
move laterally.
Mo Bamba's cool, but I don't know about how good Mo Bamba really is like that. But
I
at the
feel
same
you.
time, they're gonna let them. We gonna find out with them. Like that's one good thing
They
about
got
the
to. They got no
find out.
choice. You got to
Yeah,
do it. Like what you got? What you got to
yeah,
lose?
yeah. Like we're gonna find out with them, but they're not gonna be good, and they're gonna probably be in the top 5 draft picks next year. So there they go
Yep.
for that.
So you're going under. Agreed. Next,
Yeah, definitely under. Next team are the Wizards of Washington.
your boy Bradley.
Bradley Bill.
Just verify some addition. I know they had a key addition. The Wizards.
I don't know. They got Kyle
No, they
Kuzma.
didn't. I think
They got
Kuzma was last year.
Yeah, they
I
got
think the
Kyle
Wizards
Kuzma.
is just a team. The Wizards is just a team that they just have to work on what they have right now. They bought into Bradley Beal. Beal bought into them. He's committed. Um,
Yeah,
they did all their work the last few years. They got Rui Hachimura. They got Thomas Bryant. Actually, they lost Thomas Bryant. I'm sorry.
yeah, no,
Um,
like it.
yeah, it's the Lakers. But they got Porzingis in trade, which I think was actually
Oh
smart
yeah,
to part
Porzingis,
with
yeah,
Beal last year. So I think they just got to work what they have. You saw last year they went on a little run towards to make a push for the playoffs, but playing tournament. But they got talent. They got talent. I
yeah.
think
I think
Porzingis. I like watching Porzingis play too. If Porzingis stays
yeah,
healthy, they solid.
yeah. If they have Porzingis, I forgot they have Porzingis. If Porzingis could play with Bradley Bill, they'll be pretty good. I mean, Kyle Kuzma's been playing all right. I think they could be a team that could be a possible playing team. So that like a nine
Yep.
10 seed, which is might be not bad, which will leave them around 500. Like I think they could be a 500 caliber team. But
All
yeah, I
right.
don't, because I do think they are better than the absolute bottom of the league. I mean, of the
Yep.
conference. So I do think they could be all right. I mean, Bradley Bill will have to play all year, and he will have to go like if he goes crazy, and then they have Porzingis, he's playing well. They could be all right, but I think that their peak would be like a 9, 10, or maybe. But if it's a playing game, it's one game, so who knows? But I think they're looking at for the regular season. I think that got them at like a 9 or 10 seed.
So they did pick up Johnny Davis in the draft from Wisconsin, which I think is a good score they needed. But I'm kind of aligned on you. I'm aligned with you. I think they're at peak at peak AFC. AFC they're playing tournament. They're competing to get into playoffs. Um, but they need more. They need more.
Yeah.
But like you said, if Bradley Beal comes out with that I'm a killer mentality, I'm tired of losing, they could be peak 7 seed. But so other than that, that's Washington, man.
Yeah.
Good luck, Wizards.
But what's the over and under?
We got the Wizards over under right now is at 35.5.
I'm gonna go over.
I
I
agree.
can
I
see
go with
them.
the
I
over.
can see them 40 to 42. That's why.
Yeah, that's what I said. They get into the AFC. They need to be around that 40-41 mark.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. So I agree. I got the overage as well.
All right. So over on that one. All right. So last team here is the Miami Heat.
Jimmy
So,
B.
so the Heat, I don't think they added anyone. Their biggest thing was injuries, though. I mean, that they went on a hell of a run last year. Jimmy Butler, all these guys played great. They were just burnt out. Like they were just
Jimmy
injured.
Butler gave us a taste of his eliteness, his
Yeah,
possible eliteness. I
yeah,
didn't know he had that in him. I didn't know he had that godlike presence in him to do it night after night after night. I
yeah.
respected his game. I looked at him as one of the top players in the league, but I put him up there now. I put him in tier 2. Like he's tier 2 now. He was more tier 3-ish hovering. He's at tier 2 now.
Yeah, no.
Tier 2 star player.
He definitely put himself up there as one of the most elite, one of the most clutch in the league too.
Hell yeah,
at the end of
clutch.
the
Yeah,
game,
he can't say as many star players as clutch.
yeah.
Jimmy Butler's one of the clutch
But
players.
I mean, the thing with them is, I mean, they're gonna be good. I mean, they re-signed Tyler Hero. They lost PJ Tucker, which could hurt them.
Yep,
Um,
it will hurt them. It will hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they added anyone that of. I mean, I think Oladipo.
I was watching them play preseason against the Nets. I forgot who they were interested in having them replace that role. They were talking about Caleb Martin replacing that role as a like a PJ Tucker type. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
And then that bruiser really getting in like the defending more position. I was like, Caleb Martin? He
yeah,
got
I
on
don't
the
know,
side a little bit. But
but nah, yeah, I don't know about the team. I mean, Kyle Lowry, he's getting up there. He
he
was
is
hurt
up
last
there.
year, so hopefully he's better
He
now.
is up there. Kyle Lowry is 36. He's up there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's up there.
So yeah,
He's up there.
they gotta bring us a little more fresh legs. I think in the point
Yeah.
guard. I don't know who their backup point guard is, but they may have to make a move, try to get
They
somebody a
def
little more.
they're definitely going to be shopping at the trade deadline. I
Yeah,
think, especially if they're contending, I think they're
yeah,
definitely going to look for that because you can saw in the playoffs, like even with Bam, like who else? Like even if Tyler Hero is not that player where you're gonna be like,
yeah.
okay, we can depend on Tyler. You can't
And he
depend on
got
Tyler,
hurt. And he got hurt too. To
and he
play.
got hurt. But even Tyler healthy, you can't say Tyler is gonna give you that
Yeah,
every night. He's
yeah.
just
They
a
don't have
shooter.
outside of Jimmy Butler. I mean, and Bam. Sometimes they don't have anyone. They be like, all right, just
Yeah.
be a bucket on your own type. Everybody
Yep.
else got to
You
get
can go
set
get
up.
it.
Like everybody else got to get set up. So
And
yeah,
you kind of need that. Like Jordan Clarkson. I wouldn't be surprised if they go after Jordan Clarkson.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like a Jordan Clarkson would be a good pick for them. Like a good
Clarkson,
get.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, or like
Go get them.
I mean even yeah, like a Jordan Clarkson or like even a point guard really. That's
Yeah, a point guard that could just get their own. That just loves to score. Yeah,
yeah,
I agree with you.
because I mean right now is Laurie who's solid, but it's he
He's
was
not.
showing his age. He was showing his age. He was showing his age. Like, they need somebody young that they could bring in that could like, all right, I'm gonna come in and get some bucket. Like a person like Murray would have been amazing there.
Yep.
Like that, do a little bit of
Yep.
everything.
Jamal Murray. Oh, Jamal Murray to win the championship. They
Yeah.
they get Jamal
Well,
Murray to win the chip.
Deontay Money, Murray.
Oh, Deontay Murray. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Deontay.
Well,
Even Deontay
Jamal
Murray.
Murray too. Jamal Murray too. But yeah,
Yeah, Jamal Murray they win the championship. Deontay Murray they get to the finals.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing about them though is I don't know. I mean, they could be good. I mean, they could be a contender again. Obviously, I think they obviously can, but I don't know. I mean, it depends. I think a person like Oladipo will have to be better for the whole year. Like
Yep.
players like that will have to. I mean,
Yep.
what's his name? I mean, Tyler Hero is good. He would have to take like that next step as a player. Possibly, probably be a starter. I would say,
Yep.
and then like
That's what I mean. Like if he becomes a starter, and there's a reason why he's not a starter. Like a starter, you need to bring it every night.
yeah,
You gotta be every night. You can't be grabbing off nights. You can't be shooting air balls. Like you
yeah.
can't be doing that stuff like that. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he should. I think he is ready to be a starter because they've been kind of saving him for like the second unit. But it's like that means you just got to get a better second unit. Like this is you gotta have your best
Yep.
players out there. You gotta have your best players out there. So I think he should be a starter this year coming up. And I mean, I think
Ooh,
they have
and
a shot.
I want to see that young rookie they drafted, Nikolai Jovic.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He's been solid. Like he's been solid watching preseason. He's a little 6'10" guard in a way, in a hybrid guard. So he's pretty decent. He's a forward, but he has guard like skills. And we can't forget about your boy Sposh. He's the man.
yeah, yeah.
Probably top two coaches in the league. Honestly,
Yeah,
this is honestly
definitely one of the best coaches in the league. I mean, I love Eric
definitely.
Spoelstra, what he
I love
does.
Eric Spoelstra.
But I
But
mean,
they got the Heat over under 48.5.
I would say over because I think they're going to be in the top four, and I think top four is going to give me 50 wins. So I would say over.
I agree with you. I'm with the over. Just because that defense playing in Miami during the regular season, the grind of traveling, and you have to go into there and deal with that defense and that hostility. Like that's why they get those wins at home, man. But I got the over too as well.
Yeah, I got the over. All right. So next part here, we're done with the going through the team. So next part here, we're going to give our predictions 1 through 8 of where we see teams ending in the playoffs. So this isn't exactly where we're going to see them end in the playoffs. I mean, This is where we see them ending in the regular season. So not the playoffs, but regular
Okay.
season. So I'll start it off my 1 through 8. So I have, this is the regular season here. I have Boston number 1. I have the Bucks number 2. I have, see, before I had I would say I have, oh, this is a tough one. I would say I have Philly number 3, Nets number 4, Miami 5, Cavs 6, Hawks 7, and then the Bulls 8. So it's a little. I actually made this list before this, so it's a little different than what I said before. But just going over it, it's like teams that like the Hawks that I think could be like a 6. Looking at the teams ahead of them, I don't see them being better than them. Like the Cavs, Miami, Philly. So yeah, so my 8 again is Boston 1, Bucks 2. I say Philly would be 3, even though I think the Nets will be better than them in the playoffs. I got the Nets 4, Miami 5, Cavs 6, Hawks 7, Bulls 8. So I think that's my 1 through 8. And as far as who I think would win the East, that's tough. I always say the Eastern Conference will probably be. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Nets versus Bucks.
East Finals?
Yes. I'm gonna say Nets versus Bucks.
Say your 8 again.
So it's Boston 1, Bucks 2, Philly 3, Nets 4, Miami 5, Cavs 6, Hawks 7, and then Bulls 8.
Okay.
I might even go on a limb and say 5 teams get 50 wins. I don't know if that's ever happened. But it could happen. I don't know if that's ever, because I feel like I got Miami 5, but I feel like Miami could be a 50-win team at least. I don't know if that's ever happened. I mean, definitely 4 teams have done it, but maybe even 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the early win.
Damn.
So
550 win teams.
All
right. That's a lot. 550 win teams. All right. I got. This is kind of tricky. So the AFC, I got the Chicago Bulls, or at the 7th seed, I got the New York Knicks.
Wow.
And I could flip flop that. Honestly, I could flip flop that, just because I don't think the Bulls stay healthy enough long enough, and I think they trade one of them by the middle of the season. I'm gonna flip that. Knicks are the 8th seed, Bulls are the 7th seed.
All right.
I got the Hawks 6, Sixers 5, Heat 4, Nets 3, Bucks 2, Boston 1.
So no Cavs.
Oh, whoa.
No Cavs, see?
No Cavs. Wait. I totally forgot about Cleveland.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I forgot about Cleveland. I'm just thinking about the whole roster team for last year. All right. Let me rephrase this. All right. The Knicks 8. We're gonna put the Hawks 7, Sixers 6, Heat 5. Cavs 5, Heat 4, Nets 3, Bucks 2, Celtics 1. So the Bulls don't make the playoffs.
Okay. See, but the thing is, at first I actually had the Nets 3, and then I had Philly 4. But I think in the regular season, I think Philly's gonna have a good regular season. I think they're gonna go on a run regular season. Playoffs, I don't know. I wouldn't have them over the Nets or really Miami. I wouldn't have them over either one yet. But I think in a regular season, I feel like Philly's gonna go on the run, because I think Embiid is gonna. He's gonna force it. He's gonna force people to vote for him for MVP. Like, if he has an MVP caliber season this year, they're gonna have to give it to him, because it's like, all right, bro, how many years can you snub this man? So it's like He's gonna force it, and I really do think that James Harden is gonna force it in the regular season. I think he's gonna go crazy. He's gonna have to because he's hearing the doubters. People are talking shit about him, and I feel like this year that he's gonna go back to going crazy this year. I really do, but I don't know about the regular season. But yeah, I mean, so you got Boston, you got the Bucks number one, or you got Celtics?
Celtics 1, Bucks 2, Nets 3, Heat 4, Cavs 5, Sixers 6, Hawks 7, Knicks 8. The reason I got the Sixers 6, and I know you high on them, is because I think they're gonna lose a lot of head-to-head competitions against the better teams. So I think those games will cost them, and I think that's what happened last year. It was like they were like 2 or 3 in the East, and then when they schedule started getting heavy with games against Boston, Miami.
Yeah, but they ended with, I think, the second, it was like a 3-way tie for like second or third best record in the league. I mean, in the East though. Even though they ended at the 5, even though they ended at the 5, they were like this either second or third best record in the East.
You're right.
It was like a 3-way tie. I think they had the same record as Boston, or maybe not Boston. No, because Boston was
Brooklyn,
second.
no.
I think it was the same record as Boston. I mean, and that was without Harden really for most of the season. That was the thing. They started losing more games once they got Harden in the beginning to like get him into the team.
Yeah, acclimated. Yeah. Actually, it was a 3-way tie for second place. Yeah, they were 51 and 31. Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
They were the 4th seed.
So last year had 4.
But again, that's the rankings though. That's the 4th seed because they lost those head-to-head matchups. Well, that's why they ranked the 4th. Yeah, that's why they got. Even though it was a tie, but that comes down to head-to-head matchups, and that's why they finished 4th.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying though. I don't know if I have like, because I think like a team like the Nets, they're going to be better than Sixers, but in a regular season, I can see them not starting off that well. I don't know. I don't know if the Nets are going to start off well.
I agree.
That's why I said the whole thing about Steve Nash.
Well said. I agree.
Because I can see them losing games in the beginning, but I see them ending like once they get everything fixed. I see them going on like a 15-game, like winning streak at some point in the season. But I think they're not going to start off that well. But I think Philly's going to just start off. I think they're going to roll through the season. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I mean, I think the Cavs could have a better overall team than Philly, possibly. It just depends. I think they can, but
they should.
I mean, I think for a team like the Cavs, it's not really dependent on Donovan Mitchell because you know what he's going to give you. I think it's more on like a guy like Mobley. Like if Mobley could take the next step, then they could be even crazier than
yeah. But I don't think he'd take it yet. I think he'd be more similar last year, but I think he would just understand a little bit more of the nuances of taking care of your body now. But yeah, I think the third is when you take the jump.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. It's like a person like for them to take the jump like that. We know what Donovan Mitchell is going to give them, but I think that somebody else has to do it, and I think it would have to be the Mobley or Garland too a little bit. But I think it would have to be more Mobley because Garland, as good as Garland is in the playoffs, he's probably not going to be the better point guard. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to be going against Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that he's going to go against. He's going to be good, but he's probably not going to be better than the opposing point guard. Like a guy like Mobley could be a guy that like, all right, I could beat my matchup on a regular. You know what I'm saying? Like,
makes sense.
But I think that would be the difference. But it's tough though because it's like a team like the Cavs, they could be good, but it's everybody else is like Miami, all those teams. Is like I don't know. And it's like Atlanta is good as I think it's hard to put them. Yes, it's like I think Atlanta could be really good, but I don't see them any higher than 7, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's why I got them. I got them at 7.
Yeah. So let's end it up with predictions. So from the Eastern Conference, who you think is going to be like MVP candidates, Rookie of the Year, 6-man, Most Improved?
From the East only?
East only.
All right. So for Rookie of the Year, just review the draft real quick. Just trying to remember players off the top of my head.
I'm gonna go Paulo.
I'll go Paolo. You gotta go Paolo.
I'm gonna go Paulo, or I'm gonna go Ivy, possibly, because I think they're gonna both.
I'm gonna go Paolo just because he's gonna get more burn. He's gonna get majority of the ball, majority of the touches. Everything's going through him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
yeah,
Paolo for rookie of the year. Yep.
yeah, because he's gonna get he's gonna get burned from the beginning. He's gonna get a lot of run from the beginning because it's not like they know that he's the guy. Like Ivy, obviously, I think he's gonna be good, but they still have Kate Cunningham, who's their guy. So it's like
Yeah,
it's two different roles, kind of. So yeah, I would say Paulo because I think Paulo's gonna he's gonna average over 20. He should average over 20 in his rookie year
easily. And as a rookie, that's automatic.
Yeah. And then for MVP, I'm gonna say MB just because out of default, or I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum because I feel like a lot of he's heard the whispers or about him in the championship, and I think that he's going to be better. So, and he's getting better every year. Like he's improved his game in a lot of ways from last year. From last year to the year before, he improved his game, so he's continuing to get better. I think that he's going to be up there for MVP candidates. And then if I had to choose three, I would say KD, just because he's the same way. He's heard the whispers too out of losing after getting smacked.
Too long. He's heard it for too long.